Like, this is just dangerous to be at. My human opponent could be walking up at any moment with a level 3 Archmage, and look exactly what happens. This is just, let's slow this down, because this is just so freebie. Blade Master chop, please. Chop, Blade Master, chop. Alright, everybody, welcome to another Warcraft 3 video. We are, of course, enjoying some Warcraft 3 on, I believe it's just about to be the patch, right? There's going to be a new patch soon. They're nerfing ghouls by 1 point of damage, which is funny. Everyone is saying it's not that big of a nerf, but I think it is. That's like, think about how many times a ghoul does damage throughout the game. That -1 is pretty impactful, especially if it's like multiple ghouls. But I digress. We're not talking ghouls. We're talking footmen, peasants, militia, and all that jazz. And I'm going Blade Master versus human. So, you know, I've been having a hard time versus human, as most orcs have been. And I've been doing something a little different. It's headhunters into Blade Master harass. So here's the game plan. The game plan is I don't like going Farseer against human because eventually they go Griffins, and then Farseer seems useless because Griffins and Priests just destroy that. So I've been going Blade Master instead and really just going for like an anti-air army to begin with because Blade Master is so good with Orb of Lightning. But this is an interesting thing that happens. This is a Blizzard game because, you know, I've been playing a lot of Battle.net. And when the human opponent sees you go the Blade Master, this is common. They go straight to your base because they could assume, oh, he's hard teching or something. But no, this is, I actually have the two headhunters. So turns out he was creeping with the water elemental and the militia here, which is pretty good. Uh-oh, get a little too close. So I get the ensnare kill there. But, you know, I actually really like this. I like the idea of, like, having my Blade Master on the map, not necessarily using, I think I get this kill? Yeah. Having my Blade Master on the map and also amassing an army. Like, usually the Blade Master isn't a hero you mass headhunters with Windwalk, but it's just something I'm trying against human, you know. It allows me to get in some pretty good damage over here. Decent base layout here, but unfortunately the water elemental can come back. Yeah, it's actually just best to run here, because I'm not afraid of the water elemental, I'm afraid of the Archmage. So if you go here, then he just gets like cornered by the water elemental. But here I go, you know, we had a race for boots of speed, and I had to get them boots, and now I'm in a pretty decent situation, trying to get that last slash off, get a slash, and then the Windwalk. So my opponent, I think, he could have died there if I got the slash on. Maybe he wouldn't, but it's just don't want to risk it. So my opponent runs away, and the whole time my opponent was creeping, but this, I get really lucky here. Look, I remember this game. Uh-oh, I was looking for the Archmage, but I also get your Slippers of Agility. So I get a free Slippers, and the Archmage is hiding, and I decide to get some peasant kills. Yum, yum, yum. And now the headhunters are coming, so this is great, you know? Like, okay, this is maybe smart by my opponent to run away there, yeah. Before I saw him, by the way, I had no idea where the Archmage was. You can see that, and you canceled just in time. So yeah, pretty interesting by my opponent. I like how my Blade Master has no mana, so like, just chop away, right? I think that's what I decide to do here. Can I get that one? Yeah, nice. That was a nice kill. And I'm looking for the Archmage. I don't know where the Archmage is. I always forget there's Fountains of Health on this map. Of course he's there. How good would it have been if I sent Headhunter up there just to disrupt? But no, we do get just this kind of nice situation here. Now, pretty good to block off there, but like, you know, my Blade Master has Circlet and Slippers. Like, I'm actually pretty formidable. I'm not too worried, so you eventually have to let me out there. And the four Headhunters, I think, makes it real. Like, if I just had the Blade Master here, it's not as impactful, but the Headhunters allow me to, you know, kind of do something even though the Arcane Tower here is. And I guess I also, now that I watch this replay, I do like how the human's Arcane Tower is pretty minimally effective when it's not against the Farseer. So I think these Headhunters should probably turn and kill that water elemental for experience. But we just are denying a level 3 Archmage, which we're okay with. My human opponent does have keep. And I'm already at Stronghold, so I'm building a Spirit Lodge, burrow, and we're just still like chasing, right? This is a decent situation for me. I could be creeping with, you know, like I could be creeping a really small camp like that, maybe, and maybe if I'm like really on top of it, I'm like creeping these with the Headhunters, but No, we do decide to just... Bad timing. I'm not sure we're going to get this kill, but... Okay, good. We will get this kill on the water elemental. Nope. Nice micro by Remax. So this is just a war of attrition between me and Remax. Trying to get that Arcane Sanctum up. I don't want that to happen, obviously. The water elemental lives, by the way. Can't do much here. Gonna get that healing scroll soon. Now at this point, okay, I think my stalling and aggressive tactics are put to an end. We are now creeping, and now this is another thing I like about the Windwalk harass with headhunters, because the moment I'm finished harassing, look how fast my creeping is. Yeah, I got all these headhunters. So my creeping's pretty fast, and that's what my Blade Master's going to do now. I would creep shop. Yeah, looks like, I did this wrong, by the way. Sometimes I feel like I really do these creeps the wrong way. Blade Master needs to be killing the Forest Troll High Priest. Everything needs to be killing the Forest Troll High Priest. But this is a weird way to do it. I'm letting him heal. I have the... this is bad. This is bad. Hope I don't lose a unit here. This is rough. Look at these creeps killing me. My human opponent just getting that healing. Tome of Agility +2. Wish I would have got that one. Don't lose a unit. Okay, good. Still so close. This was a scary situation. I remember this. So because I don't creep this very well, and like I'm not smart enough to get the healing salve from the Shadow Hunter. Like this is just dangerous to be at. My human opponent could be walking up at any moment with a level 3 Archmage, and look exactly what happens. This is just, let's slow this down because this is just so freebie. So immediately gets the Stormbolt. I don't think that's worth it. I don't think you just immediately Stormbolt the Headhunter. I think you like...
Job's done.
So I don't know. Just Stormbolt things other than
Job's done.
the one-shot kill. Because that could just been killed by the Archmage and the Mountain King. You gotta save the bolts for like that. You know, save the bolt for that kill. But I digress. So they're saying how I could be thinking better. My opponent already got 2 Headhunters or a Raider. So definitely nice little situation there for my opponent. You know, he saw the situation and it worked out. Though I get a Hex. Uh-oh. All of a sudden Archmage is looking scary. Why didn't I purge there? I had the purge. Oh, you all saw that. Very unfortunate. I must have been doing something. Oh, I purged there, get the water. I'm elemental, but okay. Let's see if I can get some blocks here. I see the purge here, perhaps. Yeah, see the purge, see the purge. No, I don't see the purge. No, I must see the Hex. Oh, finally. Please get this kill. Purge! Alright, so Purge still not used. I wonder what my control group situation is right now, because I'm obviously getting pushed to my limit here in terms of macro and micro. A nice little human versus orc. Control C. My opponent was trying to attack the unit there, which would have been nice. But I like my situation. Killed the Mountain King. Level 3. We're getting the Shaman Adept training, which is all we're going. I don't think we're going Blade Bloodlust this game, right? Got 2 Circlets and the Slippers. I think against Human in particular, you really need a good Blade Master. Like, if you're going to go Blade Master versus Human, which is already kind of hard, or sometimes not good if you don't get good momentum, you need to invest. Now, by the way, I was trying to get this, but I didn't get it. I didn't have my Raider and Snare ready, but I am determined. You can pull this creep here really well and then get the surround using this. Should just ensnare here. Do I get the surround? Oh, I just barely miss it all. No, okay, Purge, yeah. So we're just really dedicated. We missed the surround, but we should just screw it. But the fact that we pulled him away and he had to run all the way back means his AI's changed and he didn't do the shockwave. So great. Get this really quick kill, Catgirl's Pipe, and nice timing because look, my opponent sees it and yeah, you just can't really come up on me. Would have been a good creep check, but I already have the big stuff. Important to Hex there. I think I didn't want him to Stormbolt it. I thought that he was going to do it. Alright. So this is a good army. I always find that when I'm doing well as Orc, it's because I like have some Headhunters left over from the early game. And that allows my heroes and raiders and to just have some extra DPS. Missed that Manual of Health, unfortunately. Human opponent building the most annoying army that I hate to face. Spellbreakers, casters. I mean, I sometimes look at the human army in envy, because it's just like creeping, heals, spell steal. You always get a bloodlust when you creep the shop. But you know, we have nice things too, and snare, right? We get to kill the big drake. What's the item? A nice ring of the artifact. I love it when I get an all stats blade master like this. Blade master actually has pretty decent intelligence. And, you know, when you go Windwalk, it's just fun to spam Windwalk a lot, and the damage adds up. So I get a nice little concave of damage. Let's see where my units are going. I like the decision to upgrade and get photos. Now, my human opponent hasn't expanded yet, right? Now, that's probably because we had a little weird early game. My opponent, if you recall, saw the Blade Master, assumed my fast tech, and then just went for it, but then had to face Headhunters and a Blade Master, so it was kind of a ring around the rosy in the early game. So that means my opponent is going for more one base, double Sanctum, which is, you know, it's human. They have that flexibility. In the meantime, I have been, what? Where's my Blade Master? What am I doing on this game? My Blade Master is forward scouting with Windwalk level 1. I do have crit level 2 because I have some nice items. My Shadow Hunter is unfortunately abandoned. Pretty questionable movement here. You see I'm trying to get here, but I do so in a way that makes my Kodo take the long way. It's because I scout this, by the way. I might have missed it, but I had a golden reveal with a crystal ball here. So I did see this, but I think I just come in a little too scattered. You see, I lose a Raider because my Shadow Hunter's behind. Although my Blade Master is getting a nice little flank here. Oh, if only I got the tome. Nice little flank here on the casters. I personally like to put my Blade Master on the casters. Nice lightning shield, got dispelled really quick. And I sometimes think, like, this is so hard to win against because slow, and I'm not purging my Blade Master, and I don't go mirror image right now. So, but you see the Windwalks allow me to continue to get some damage. Haven't skilled level 2 Windwalk though in the middle of the fight. Would have been nice. Get a purge off. Good, and we see this. We have the direction on the Mountain King. We notice the Mountain King within this fight, and we say, can we get the kill? Still haven't gotten level 2 Windwalk, but it doesn't matter. Enough purges. You see the human army DPS is pretty low, actually, when you're in this sort of situation, and you go for the priest, right? They're just, they're armored. They're sitting right there. I probably would have been liking the Blade Master going over these casters, not the Spellbreakers, but I digress. We do have a nice Spellbreaker in the belly. So nice, you know, the Blade Master is managing to become very strong, which we'd like to see. I really hope we get this Tome of Agility +2. Oh no, we just don't see it, right? Don't have the Tome vision. But we're not getting Bloodlust. We decided to get Witch Doctor Adept Training and Venom Spears. We're getting multiple upgrades, ladies and gentlemen.
We're under attack.
My opponent is still Keep. So this is a tier 2, 1 base, double Arcane Sanctum. I mean, yeah, it's effective, right? You just kind of overwhelm the orc with tempo. Nice Ring of Regen there. Probably give that to, what, TC? Oh, I had to get that Tiny Great Hall. Love a Tiny Great Hall. You know, Orc's really been in a tough place lately when it comes to expanding, right? You remember in the PTR, they made Orc be able to expand 15 seconds faster. But I guess that was too powerful. They reverted it. So now, once more, we have the Tiny Great Hall being the thing that allows Orc to have a macro game. You see, because when Orc gets tier 3, the human opponent has to do something now, right? The human opponent wanted to win the game right now. They wanted to have a strong push, you know, keep, double Sanctum. But now they're like, oh no, I have surely scouted this Orc's base with the water elemental, and I just scouted. You know, I don't see a base on my opponent. I have all this mana. Feels great. And I think just in the nick of time, I scout that my opponent is going for the attack. So, you know, you wait for that's a pretty big army. Yep, 58. So my opponent has a huge army, you know, went over. I'm upkeep. I'm still at 49, 62. Really just banking gold, enjoying that double income, which helps me out a lot, right? I'm able to, like, have this mixed army, which I love. Get a little slowdown, put fear in the mind of my opponent. Attack with the Blade Master. Spending my gold here is important, right? I know the fight's coming, so what's the Shadow Hunter buying? doesn't buy heal scroll just yet. No, my Blade Master. Oh, okay, my Blade Master should get orb, right? Yeah, orb. Okay, that's what I was getting. So orb's a great pickup here, but oh no, I was flanked. The Mountain King invisibility, by the way. Props on my opponent for the invis Mountain King usage. Nice, I got the heal wave out there. Thank God, or all my units dead. And these units are caught out of position, which is unfortunate. But it actually kind of helps out because I like don't die immediately by the militia flank. So yay! I interrupt your militia. Thankfully, the ring of regens working overtime whenever the wind walk happens. So I just get to kill all these now last resort peasants. So the peasants actually are pretty good just from my experience, right? I'm trying to get level 5 on the Blade Master, and I love this diverse army from an orc. Unfortunately, why is my Tauren attacking my shaman? You all see this, right? Oh no, what's happening? You see this happening? Is this Tauren gonna kill the shaman? How does that happen in the thick of things? Well, we got Lightning Shield on the casters, the Tauren's still killing the shaman, we got Purge on the Mountain King, we finally do a box and the Tauren's on our side again. He dispels the Lightning Shield, that's good. We're just going for the heroes because the Shadow Hunter's fine, he got the potion. Blade Master's just chopping. Nice, see, this is what the Orb of Lightning does, and you eventually have to TP. So good on me, I don't lose it, but it was fine. I had TP, I had Potion of Lesser Invuln. And that Tauren really was a hater. Almost killed the shaman. Nice by my opponent because if I just to deny. Oh my god, do you deny the priest there? I think you did. Epic. So, wow, this is where the human army is so effective. This is actually like human TP style fighting is so good because they TP, they immediately are healing, automatically healing. All of this, his units are being healed by a priest. His mana is full. He's getting Scroll of Regen, which is the fastest way to heal your whole army. It's so efficient. Meanwhile, Orc player has to manually buy salves, you know, have to buy a clarity, have to spend all this resources just to get back in the game. Thankfully, I have expansion, but I actually had to switch peons over because I needed lumber so badly. Have you ever been in the situation where it's better to just put your meager peons on wood? Well, that's what I had to do. Because I just needed more units. I didn't have the wood. But now is probably the time I switch some of these peons back to gold. I do like how I have the wyverns here that are upgraded. Simply because, you know, casters are so strong. And, like, if you have enough shaman to deal with the water elementals, and same with the Blade Master with the Purge Orb, like, wyverns can sometimes just do a lot of damage in these sort of... Oh, man, I hate that my shamans are grouped with my units here. My shaman should be grouped in a separate group and just kind of hanging out here, not being in melee range. This is a bad habit of me in the late game when I'm getting fatigued, right? So you can see them all in one big group. Definitely something I need to improve. These towers, big game here, right? They don't look like they're doing much, but it really is. It's nice, like suppressive tower. It's stressing out my opponent into thinking they can't stay there, even though it's just, they totally can. These towers are allowing me to get all these free kills. Okay, come on. Can the Blade Master chop, please? Chop, Blade Master, chop. Okay.
Our gold mine is running low.
Getting nice little scouting here. I mean, I do kind of like my Blade Master play here. It's a little passive, but I'm going to get the chop right. Yeah, it's got no damage. Fortune was slowed. Could have been dead if he had anything. If he had a farm there and like reveal, dead, right? I mean, maybe not. I'm fast enough. I could TP. I'm so fast I come and just TP, but so my opponent rightfully says, okay, fine, if you're just going to spam that tower position, I'm going to come over here. And I think my opponent was right for doing this. Because, you know, you don't have a base in now, right? My timing was immaculate there. And, you know, you really do need to fight me. But I'm okay with this. I'm okay with just being in the middle. I like my mixed army here. I'm not too sure about that Stormball. You know, that like Headhunter is not the biggest, like, high impact unit here, and like I really was going to be saving the Stormball for Blade Master. Blade Master is the thing it's going to be out of control, right? This is where Tauren gets scary. Taurens versus a Spellbreakers, no chance. The Spellbreakers are getting destroyed. And I like my TP here because I'm the one with the expansion. I'm the one with the resources. The moment he used the scroll and I felt like this was in any way bad for me, just TP out. Just TP out, right? I really like that decision by me because, you know, God, if I would have lost this game after I think having a pretty good advantage, wouldn't have felt good. So we TP out, and now that scroll of protection's gone. The water elementals, you know, gone. I'm getting back in there with the fight now. A little bit of miss micro with the peons, but it's working out in my favor. It's just a slow wave, you know. My opponent doesn't have much DPS, mind the mountain, so I'll just get a healing wave here. Yep, so healing there is fine. Healing level 2 is pretty good. 3 is going to be big if I ever get it. And have I noticed how much damage the Wind Rider has? One down, and I think another one down. Oh, bummer. Looks like I'm low on shamans. I wasn't able to purge this. But hey, these headhunters, berserkers, what did I say? Sometimes I feel like the orc army does well when it has headhunters just chucking away. Like, orc army does well when it just has some of its really highest damage piercing units, like, you know, Kodo, Wind Rider, Headhunter, just throwing spears. You know, he's too busy dealing with Torrents, too busy dealing with the grunts, with the peons. Like, I had every tank you can, every melee unit besides a raider, and then, you know, you get the poison. It's looking pretty nice here. Don't want to chase too hard. By the way, notice I only live there because I did the invulnerability into salve. Ring of regen working overtime. Feels good here because these Wind Riders are really nicely positioned against the casters. I say my biggest mistake on this end of this fight is like no shamans here. But what's that mean? 12 intelligence. How did that drop there? Did someone drop that? Oh yeah. Fighting on two fronts here. My opponent did get the expansion, but a little too late. Yeah. GG's. Nice. Decent game. I like Blade Master versus Human. I think I made some decent calls there, but now let's see. Now I'm very curious if this is still going to work.